Good afternoon and welcome to Nutmeg Sports on the ATA Network. A happy Monday from Frank Granito, Kevin Coleman, and Eric Gendron. They're overrated. The Beatles are overrated. I said it. There we go. You know who's not overrated, though, is the Darien Lacrosse team. Okay, like, if we're going to just come out and say things, how good is Darien Lacrosse?
It's unfair. They're just so talented and so much fun to watch. This boys team, again, Logan McGovern and Kevin Lindley, the two of them combined, just put on a show for, I think, everyone, not only watching in the stands, but for everyone that was watching at home. What a performance these two have put on all season long.
Eric, it's 2:02 right now. At 2:29, I need you to be very, very careful and make sure there's not a Darien player standing alone in front of the net to score another goal right before this show ends.
It is astounding. I mean, we've talked about it, I think, twice on this show now, and I brought it up. Like, teams need to stop letting Darien score within the last 20, 10, 5 seconds. How many times have we seen? I think we have seen it in every single Darien boys lacrosse broadcast we have done this season. And it was towards the end of the third quarter in that game on Saturday, and I couldn't believe it. We could not believe it. Logan McGovern. I'm going to put that picture up. I have to put that picture up.
It's crazy, too, because when you think about
Look at this. How can you allow him to be that wide open? I know there were only 4 seconds left, but oh my goodness, I flipped out behind the controls there. You may have heard my voice behind Frank's call there on Saturday. It's astounding.
It's funny because I feel for the Greenwich defense at that moment in time. It was a mad scramble. There's just 15 different ground balls in a 5-second span. And naturally, everyone's thought is, let's just get this ground ball, get it out of there as quickly as we can. Unfortunately, despite there being more Cardinals than Blue Wave players, Darien comes away with it. Heads up play, quick pass out in front. McGovern will score that 11 out of 10 times.
I think he'll score that 10 out of 10 times there, Frank. It's just, you can't leave him open like that, and you're right. It was a mad scramble for a ground ball. Logan McGovern's just standing right there in front of the crease, wide open. Unbelievable. Just perfect. And again, just you can't leave someone open like that, especially like Logan McGovern. And for Eric, that graphic is just absurd how open Logan McGovern is. So, credit Darien, again, just a powerhouse in lacrosse.
And it's not that Greenwich played that poorly. I actually thought there were times where, this is shocking to say, but they controlled the pace of play. Bailey Savio was very good on the draws again, but give a lot of credit to Tanner Strube, who stepped up, Eric, and really kind of neutralized that battle on the field. But it's just, I mean, they're sprinting a marathon while everyone else is just walking it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it really just goes to show how incredible Darien is, that this was probably the best performance we've seen against them. I mean, Darien actually had to deploy their defense for once. We really haven't seen their defense on display much this whole season, at least on the broadcast that we've had. And we actually got to see their defense really go to work, put some formations out there. They stacked that box with 4 guys right in the line. Then they would shift into more of a zone. It was incredible. It was really impressive to watch. I'm glad we got to see it because we really haven't seen their defense at work all year. And that really showed just how talented this team is on all facets, because Greenwich had a really good game plan, a really good plan of attack on offense, and Darien's defense, it was absolutely stifling.
It was another double-digit win. 17-6 was the final from Darien High. Here are Saturday's highlights of the Blue Wave win. Position as O'Connor's trying to hunt him down. Pass to Lindley on the doorstep, and McGovern finishes tic-tac-toe just like that.
It comes as no surprise anymore, Frank. This is what we've seen.
Transition again. Stewart on the left. One more pass and a quick shot here from Mays. Goes upstairs.
My goodness, what a shot by Matt Mays. Top shelf.
For the win. As now he looks to shoot, and he buries one top left corner as the Cardinals are on the board.
What a rip by Bogger.
It's going to be another opportunity here as Savio off the draw quickly responds.
How about Bailey winning the faceoff coming down? We've seen him do that this season.
Couldn't find the intended target. Stewart takes it away. Up to Lindley. He shoots. He scores.
You can't let Darien get in transition.
He hands off to Minikis, who beats the defender. He's got time and space and goes upstairs. It's 7-2.
That was saucy.
As the turnaround shot from McGovern It's becoming his signature move, and that will give us a break. Finds Riley Stewart coming off the bench. Stewart in transition, looks to his right, passes on the doorstep. Going behind the back is McGovern. So you're fancy, huh?
My goodness, Logan. Highlight reel goal.
It works out as Fida finally onto the score sheet. Quick pass again, and he's going to respond one more time.
How about Jack Fida here?
Was Luke Ayub. He lost it, though. It pops up in the air. Needing to get a shot off as they go over to McGovern, and he scores!
I mean, Frank, how is he wide open like that? My goodness.
Was a mad scramble on the right side of the cage. Michael Graves, Alexander Bologna has a huge check there. Firing on the opposite side was Peter Hardigan. And now hats are coming out flying here as there is laundry all over the turf. And this one is over. The Blue Wave moving on. The Cardinals are heading back to Greenwich. You saw some of the big hits there, Kevin. It got a little chippy down the stretch, but I thought Coach Bobby Lutz did a good job keeping his team under control. It's the last game for a lot of those young men. Emotions are going to be high there, and it's essentially a rivalry game. These are two teams that are very familiar with themselves, and no matter who they're playing, Darien is always going to get the best shot from an opponent, and teams are now expecting you have to play a physical game to try to slow down the attack.
And I think Darien is now in everyone's head. I think just before the game even starts, you're going up against Darien. You know, they already have the advantage there because you're already thinking about how good this team is. And when you come out and when the score gets to that point, and towards the end of the game, frustrations are going to come out, especially with the seniors. You saw that late hit at the end of the game. You know, Coach Bremeyer was not happy about that. And I think, you know, the two of them, Bobby Lutz and Coach Bremeyer, got together after the game and talked about it, shook hands, and they were fine after that. But you're right. It's you don't want to see that at the end of the game. You know, when you see flags flying all over the place, and the referees got together for a while, Frank. But again, just frustrating for Greenwich. I thought at times they played really well, but I thought Strube was excellent in the face-off X for Darien because he was going up against arguably one of the best face-off men in Bailey Savio.
And Eric, what impresses me the most is just it's the business-like mentality Darien goes about with. I mean, when we were there setting up, they come out of the tunnel. It was just the calm before the storm. There's no yelling. There's no bouncing around. They go out onto the field. They start their warm-up, and it is literally they're going to work, and they show up ready for every single game. That is why they're at 52 straight wins now.
Yeah, I think a moment that really encapsulated what really makes up Darien is, you know, how good has Jack Fida been for Greenwich these last 4 or 5 weeks? I mean, and just putting some absolute rockets out on the field. And to see him completely held off the scorecard for the first half, almost the entire first 3 quarters. It was late third quarter when he finally got on there. There was a moment in, I believe, the second quarter where he was trying to do, you know, just trying to get that push to the net, and he just got muscled off the net and pushed to the ground. That is what Darien does to you. It's amazing how that the strength of that team, and you're right. And then it's just, you know, that's what that is to them. That's just par for the course. And to see someone that good as Jack Fida is, to just be completely muscled out of the box was just a sign of the times.
There were 2 other FCAC teams in action in the quarterfinals. Ridgefield fell to Glastonbury 14-9. The Tiger season is over now. Glastonbury and the Tomahawks, they are going to take on Darien. That game is going to be played at Fairfield U Stadium. Then on the other side of the bracket, Wilton was taking on number 3 Fairfield Prep. The Warriors, a big win, 12-5. Our own JB Cousins was at that game. We have a couple highlights from the Warriors' win.
Number 2, number 7, please.
As you look ahead to the semifinals, both those games are going to be Wednesday at Rafferty Stadium, 5 o'clock for Darien, 7:15 for Wilton. I give the advantage to both FCX schools, Kevin, and I think that Darien will be heavily favored in every game moving forward. But what impresses me right now about Wilton and what I think gives them a chance to potentially find a way to maybe upset Darien despite the beating they took in the FCX semis, Andrew Calabrese had 16 saves in the quarterfinals. Again, it's going to take an unbelievable performance by a goaltender for the Blue Wave to lose, and I think he might be the young man to do it.
I agree with you. I think Calabrese is the type of goalie that when he's hot and when he's on, he's on. So I think if Wilton can punch their ticket to the final and they play a perfect game against Darien, they can really keep it close. But right now, I said it during the broadcast the other day, Frank, I just don't see Darien losing. They're just too powerful, too much going on. I think they're going to roll past Glastonbury, and whoever they take on in the final, they're going to roll past them too.
Eric, before we go to break, I'm less interested in your opinion on boys lacrosse. Do you want to defend the Beatles before we step aside here the first time?
That's for another time.
Yeah,
Boys lacrosse.
right.
Wilton, I'm fully expecting a Wilton Darien state final here for this state championship. For Wilton to have any chance, they need to commit 0 turnovers in the offensive zone. That's exactly what we saw happen to Greenwich in that game. The second they turn it over, Darien snaps it up, runs down the field in transition, and you cannot stop Darien's transition. No one can do it. There is no one in the state that can stop that. So if Wilton wants to have any semblance of a chance, you cannot commit a single turnover in the offensive zone. That's what it is.
That's what it is. We'll have more on those games tomorrow and Wednesday as we get closer to the semifinals. We've got more Nutmeg Sports coming up, and we'll have fun on Nutmeg Sports when we get back after the break.
Part of banking well is doing good. That's why, with the support of local community partners, Bankwell has launched the Bankwell Pet Adoption Project to boost awareness about the hundreds of animals in local shelters that need a home. And when you donate to the cause using the Bankwell self-service coin machines, we'll match your donation. For details, visit mybankwell.com/pleaseadoptme. Bank smart, bank local, bank well.
Have a sports injury or a slip and fall that needs immediate care? Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care gives you direct access to an orthopedic specialist fast, without an appointment. Biking, golf, tennis, soccer, whatever the sports injury is, sprain or fracture, Coastal Ortho Express can help. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care open Monday through Saturday, now at 3 locations: 131 Kings Highway North in Westport, the iPark building at 761 Main Avenue, Norwalk, and 36 Old Kings Highway South in Darien. Or go to coastalorthoexpress.com, like them on Facebook.
At the Milford Bank, we offer an extensive selection of lending products and services to meet virtually any need. Submit your application online in our Mortgage Web Center. Start to finish, you can apply for a loan in as little as 10 minutes. Our knowledgeable and helpful staff are available to meet with you at your convenience. To learn more about what we can do for you, stop by one of our Milford Bank offices or visit us at milfordbank.com. The Milford Bank, always there. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
When it comes to considering the outside of your home, just imagine the possibilities. Whether your dream is a stunning free-form pool or a tranquil, secluded garden, the team of professionals at Stonebridge Associates will make it a reality. We offer unparalleled landscape design and construction, masonry development, pools, spas, and water features, as well as landscape and garden maintenance. No other firm can offer the same level of creativity, quality, and personal attention. Discover the possibilities at stonebridgeassociates.net or call 203-544-8376 today.
Pizza to satisfy even the most demanding critics. Tuesday Pazza Pizza.
At InSports Trumbull, the game is always on inside. Sign-ups are now open for one of our most popular programs, the New England 80 Elite Lacrosse Division I and Division III showcases. With D1 and D3 coaches in attendance, players will receive a 60-minute webinar with Director of Recruiting Hans Hansen, a custom NE80 Penny, custom shorts, and a video of all games. Last year's event sold out quickly, so sign up now for the next showcase coming in January 2018. Like and follow us on Facebook.
If you're watching this broadcast, you're not alone. The HAN network is available for 200,000 Connecticut cable customers on the Frontier network, and we've also reached more than 2 million viewers on our free live streaming sports, news, and entertainment broadcasts. To reach our rapidly growing audience, contact Advertising Director Jessica Murrin at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
Back on the HAN Network here with Nutmeg Sports as we look over to the diamond and take a look at the baseball field. And we have got 3 FCAC teams now that are playing in the state semifinals. The Danbury Hatters, the 20th seed, took down number 5 Fairfield Prep 5-2. They take on number 1 Amity. This is a Danbury team that's been tough to get a read on all year. And I'll start with you, Eric. We know how good Amity is. We know what they're bringing to the table. But what kind of a chance are you giving the Hatters now, who have made it all the way to the semis?
I would love to give the Hatters a chance. And you're absolutely right. This has been such a mystery team. Beating teams that they shouldn't and losing to teams that they should be beating. But this Amity team, they're kind of the baseball equivalent of Darien. I don't think they're quite Darien lacrosse. I don't think they're quite that good. But they 10 runs in the first game, 9 runs in the second game, 12 runs, blanking Ludlow in the last round. It's gonna take a dominating pitching performance from Danbury and some balls bouncing their way to get past Amity. I would love to see Danbury get to that championship, but man, Amity looks real tough to climb right now.
And that's the best way to put it. It's not as dominating of a program as Darien lacrosse is compared to what they're doing with the lacrosse tournament right now, but Amity is on one of those championship-esque runs where we expect we're in the middle of seeing a dynasty here being built. On the other side of the bracket, I think there's a good chance for either Staples or Ridgefield to be able to knock them off, purely because of, Kevin, the Ridgefield pitching situation, how good Price and Lowe have been all year. But the big thing that stands out to me right now, Ben Kasparius is playing like a man possessed and like he is the best player in all of Connecticut.
These two teams are pretty similar because, they have that ace pitcher that if you want to just win one game and get into that championship game, these are two teams that could do it. They could toss Ben Kasparius on the hill. He's the type of guy who can go the distance, can throw a complete game and get you to that championship game. And when you get in, who knows what happens. Same goes for Ridgefield. I think if you throw either Alex Price or Colin Lowe, those two can go the distance and get you into that championship game. So that's why I feel like this is going to be an excellent semifinal game. Not saying that Amity Danbury isn't going to be a great game as well, but this is a really intriguing matchup, and I got to give Staples a lot of credit because they beat a red-hot Wilton team 3-0. They blanked them, and this is a Wilton team that came in red-hot, swinging the bat. So this is going to be an excellent game. The question is, who is Ridgefield going to start in the mound? They're going to go Price, Lowe, Kasparius. We expect to see on the mound for the Staples Wreckers. It's going to be a really, really intriguing game to watch.
And Staples, Eric, essentially is now going through a second FCAC tournament, having to beat Wilton. Then they have to survive the furious West Hill comeback on Saturday, and now they take on Ridgefield. That's literally right there, 3 FCAC teams in the postseason. You're looking at a second straight tournament. But let's talk a little bit about that win over West Hill. A lot of resilience shown. Great job on the mound by Chad Knight, being able to hold it together and get that final out despite surrendering 6 runs in the final inning. But Kasparius, in 5 plate appearances, he had 2 walks, was hit by a pitch. He scored 4 runs, also added a grand slam and a 2-run homer in the second and the third inning. He is going to be on the mound on Wednesday. Or do you think there's a chance, and I think it's a very unlikely chance, Coach McFarland says, well, let me try and save him and use him for the championship?
I agree. I think Kasparius goes on the mound against the FCAC rival, and you're absolutely right. It was an incredible season for the FCAC. Had 11 teams in the Class AA tournament. Those are great numbers to have in that tournament, and to have this many go this far is really a testament to the league. I know the baseball tournament is a bit of a crapshoot where you only got the one game. You don't have best of series at the high school level, but still really impressive to see this many FCAC teams go this far. As far as that Staples West Hill match goes, it's incredible to see how many home runs we've seen this year. It's really, I think, kind of goes back to the changing of the bat a few years back. but also just, this league has really seen an uptick in home runs, and West Hill has been at the forefront of it, just pounding the ball all season. And got to give West Hill credit. They got down big early in that game, and they haven't been in that spot a whole lot this season, being, they went in the FCAC tournament as the number 1 seed. They haven't been behind by that many runs many times, and to see them claw back and get that big home run in the bottom of the 7th, almost pull even, that sounded like a wild game. But Staples is in a really good position, and they're just hitting the ball so well right now. And you're right, Kasparia seems like a man possessed. He's really turned it on all of a sudden in the last 2-3 weeks here. And I'd be very hard-pressed to not see a repeat of the 2015 state championship rematch of Amity and Staples.
Yeah, well, we know for sure now it'll be a 3rd straight year that an FCAC team will be in the state championship. Class XL, not the only semifinal featuring an FCAC team. St. Joe's, the 34 seed in Class M, has made it all the way to the semifinals. They knocked off number 2 Tolland 3-1, number 18 Plainfield 2-0, number 7 Northwest Catholic 4-0. Now they get number 3 Waterford. This is a Cadets team that really, Eric, just went completely under the radar this year. We did not know much about them. They missed out on the FCAC tournament, and here they are. What kind of chance are you giving the Cadets down the stretch now?
Oh, I mean, this has been such a great story. We kind of left them for dead a little bit because they lost their big player from last year and knock off the number 1 team 17-0. I mean, that is a huge huge win for them.
No, hold on, Eric.
We're talking baseball.
You're doing softball. I'm saying baseball.
Oh, my bad.
Baseball, the 34 seed.
Yes.
They are in the semifinals along with the softball team.
Yes, both. Both of those teams. I mean, just both great stories. Able to pull off some great upsets here. It's been an incredible run for both the baseball and softball team. I get carried away. I was looking ahead to softball here, but
that is going to be my next question. I'll go to you for this one, Kevin. Semifinals for Class XL. We've got Stanford and Trumbull meeting again. This is a little bit of a rivalry forming here between these two teams, especially going back to the winter season. But I think after an early exit in the FCAC tournament, this is a Stanford team that is extra motivated. I like the Black Knights in this one, and I actually would pick them right now to be the state champion.
Oh, I agree with you. I think you're right. This is a Stanford Black Knights team that I think was expecting to be in that FCAC title game, at least just reach there, but they want another crack at Darien. But what a matchup this is going to be. I mean, Stanford taking on Trumbull. This is a very intriguing matchup between 2 excellent FCAC teams who are very good at softball, but this Stanford team is motivated. They want to get to that title game and reclaim that title because I think they're disappointed they didn't get to that FCAC title game, and I know that they want another crack at this opportunity. And right now, very motivated. You look at this lineup up and down. Maddie Santoro, one of those captains. I think she's motivating that team to try and get them back into where they want to be. So I expect Stanford to win this game. But Trumbull, this is another team, and Taylor Brown is someone that I think for Trumbull can give Stanford a lot of issues. But I give Stanford the edge on this one. I think this is a team that I expect to see in the title game.
Tori Kuskana will be my X factor for that game. We will keep an eye on that for sure. We're going to step aside, take one more break. When we get back, we preview tomorrow's girls lacrosse semifinals on Nutmeg Sports on the HAN Network.
Want a new experience in car buying? Skep Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram with one of the largest inventories of new 2- and 4-door Wranglers. We are Connecticut's Wrangler headquarters. Come visit our new Ram Truck Center. Browse our websites, skepchryslerjeep.com or skepdodge.net to find the new Jeep, Chrysler Dodge car, minivan, or Ram truck you've been looking for. Just 2 miles from both I-95 or the Merritt Parkway exit 44. Save thousands right now during the Drive and Discover event. Now through May 31st.
At Budget Blinds, we're in business to frame the light, the day, and the night. So we give you an exclusive combination of high style, expert service, our no surprises pricing, and our no questions asked warranty. We believe that everyone, at every budget, deserves style and service. Isn't that a beautiful place to be?
You don't have to go far for authentic Neapolitan cuisine and renowned wood fire pizza. Pizzeria Loretano of Bethel is a contemporary Italian bistro, specializing in authentic wood-fired brick oven pizza Napolitana. Pizzeria Loretano was named one of America's top 1,000 Italian restaurants in 2008 by Zagat, and recommended by Jane and Michael Stern on National Public Radio's Splendid Table. Located close to the Bethel Cinema, we focus on quality, and our food is always made to order. Join us for live jazz Sundays from 6 to 8. Find our schedule, menu, and more at pizzerialoretano.com and like us on Facebook.
The new fishing season is fast approaching, so it's time to head over to the dock shop and get your gear in order. We're now offering bait in both Darien and our Westport location. The dock shop can service and repair your rods and reels, spool up new line, and fill any empty space you might have in your tackle box. Whether you're a fisherman, boater, or beach bum, the dock shop is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, dockshop.com.
Spring has sprung at Walter Stewart's Market, and we're celebrating the new season with fresh takes on spring. From the finest produce around to guaranteed fresh seafood delivered daily by the best local supplier. Not only are we your time-saving one-stop shop for everything you need this season, our personable team is always ready with a helping hand. Shop Stewart's for the best of spring. Find us at 229 Elm Street, New Canaan, or shop online at stewartsmarket.com.
La France de Chartres-Nez, c'est la France de tous les Français.
I can't believe it.
Well, Dad, you did it. You sold 160 cars. Ready to go back upstairs now?
I think it's time. I wonder how the boys are making out in their new office.
Not what I had in mind, Kyle. What, Dad?
Maybe we should retire. Right now, lease a 2017 Rogue S for only $139 a month.
Isn't it time you got Millerized?
I'm John Kovach. I'm a newspaper editor. I'm a high school football coach. I'm a television presenter. And I want you to love fishing as much as I do. Tune in to Yankee Fisherman, Thursdays at 1 on the HAN network. It's like going to the tackle shop without leaving your office.
We are back on the HAN network looking ahead to tomorrow's girls lacrosse semifinals. 4 FCX schools have advanced to the Class L championship or semifinal matchups. We will see New Canaan and Darien in the late game, Wilton and Greenwich in the earlier game. Let's start with that earlier game, Kevin. Wilton, Greenwich, where do you give the advantage?
I give it to Greenwich. But you know what? I think you also have to congratulate Wilton. You know, I think this is a better team than their ranking shows. I think this is an 11 seed that could easily be in the top 5. I think this is a very talented team, very young team too for Wilton. I think this is all around a good depth, good all-around players. But I think Greenwich right now is playing some of the best lacrosse that they've been playing all season long. This is a stacked offensive lineup. And I think right now that it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be closer than this Darien New Canaan game that we're going to see in the late game. I think this first game is going to be the marquee close game, but I think Greenwich is just going to edge Wilton. I think it's going to be a close game, but I give Greenwich the late goal at the end of the game.
And that's a bold statement there, and I'll go to you next for comment, Eric, because keep in mind the first time New Canaan and Darien played, it was an overtime game. Darien needed a late comeback, and as dominant as Darien has been, Eric, the Rams do seem to be the one team that can constantly hang with the wave.
Absolutely. I mean, here we go again. It's New Canaan, Darien, and this is the one matchup where I do see some vulnerabilities with this Darien team. You know, again, New Canaan can't get in their own heads. Just try to play their game and keep, if they do have a lead late, just try to kill that clock and keep scoring. Definitely keep scoring. Don't just hold on to the ball. Keep scoring, because you can never have enough goals against Darien. But if there is going to be one team that can knock off the Darien Blue Wave, it's this New Canaan Rams girls squad.
The one thing for me to keep an eye out is when you get late into the game, if New Canaan does have a lead, do we see that tenseness come out again as we did the first time around this year? That was a game New Canaan should have won. They had that game won, and they tightened up. They looked uncomfortable on possession. They were unsure of how to go about playing. And you're right. It's keep doing the same things, Eric, whereas Darien gets into situations like that, or even when they're trailing and they get the ball, you see a player like Emilesco step up, and there's just that killer instinct, that a shark smelling blood in the water. So that is something to keep an eye on. Kev, for your final thoughts today, I do want to look at tonight's semifinal. Darien and Ridgefield boys volleyball, unfortunately meeting in the semifinal as they're the 2 and 3 seeds in the state. Who do you give the advantage to?
It's so tough, and it's disappointing because I think these two schools, these two communities, want to see each other go in that final. But you have to give Cheshire a lot of credit. This is a very talented 1 seed who's 20-0 coming into the playoffs. This is a very talented team that deserves to be number 1. But Darien and Richfield will see each other in the semifinals, and you know what? I can't. It's hard for me to say Richfield's going to win this game because right now Darien is on a roll. And the last 2 times these two teams meet, Darien was all over Richfield. So unless Richfield makes the adjustments they need to make, I got to give the edge to Darien.
Eric, if there's one player in that match that can step up and make a difference for the Tigers, who would it be?
Got to go with Ladowdy. I mean, he's their bread and butter, man. And if he can, get his serves under control that we saw him have some issues with earlier in the season, and just, they can set him up for those spikes, they'll be right in it. I really don't anticipate another mop in the floor that Darien had last time. I think this thing goes 5, like usual, and it should be a good one. But I'm going to go with Kevin and say give the edge to Darien on this one, which is with the role that they've been on.
I think Timmy Herget has just been too good this senior season. He'll be the X factor in this one. I like that pick. Regardless of who wins this match, I think the consensus is they will go on and win the state championship. I think both Ridgefield and Darien can handle Cheshire. That's all the time we have for today. We're back again tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Don't forget, tomorrow night, 6 and 8 o'clock, we've got the girls Class L semifinals right here on the HAN Network. Before that, make sure you tune in at 11 a.m. Get your coffee break with Kate Chiklensky. For Eric Gendron, Kevin Coleman, I'm Frank Granito. We'll see you back here tomorrow on Nutmeg Sports.